I'm Allendale's chief meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at your midday weather update. As we take a look at the latest surface analysis, wow, I tell you, today's surface analysis looks almost identical to yesterday, which was the same as the one before. High pressure continues to sit right near the Mason-Dixon line, Kentucky-Tennessee area. Up the backside, we've got very warm, moist, humid air spilling in across the entirety of the Corn Belt back into the Central Plains. It's been enough to trigger scattered thunderstorms to this point, and there's no reason for it to think it would go away as we go through the rest of this afternoon through tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. Looking off to the north and west, we're looking at a cool front that's not making a lot of progress east and south either. Strong low pressure coming out of eastern Saskatchewan into northern parts of Manitoba will need to be watched, but it's awfully far north. I think the better low to watch here is going to be one that's pushing into western parts of North and South Dakota. In any case, it's going to have a hard time pushing this warm air away very quickly. That's one of the reasons why we still don't think this frontal boundary is going to be able to move across the Corn Belt until later this weekend, from later Sunday right on through Monday and into Tuesday. That's when we have that coming through. In the meantime, the pop-up thunderstorms are going to cover no more than about 10 to 15%. Geez, have you heard me say that before? I don't know, every day this week. As we move forward, let's talk about that front for early next week. I still like rainfall totals of 1/4 to 1 inch across most of the Corn Belt. Let's say 75% coverage. I do think that it's going to be a fairly slow-moving front, so if you're going to get the heavier precipitation totals, it'll have to come with thunderstorms. The rest of us looking at showers, and so I'd put a lot of the Corn Belt probably right in the middle of that 1/4 to 1 inch range. We're going to follow that up with some cooler air. Temperatures back to near normal. Still looking at several different models, looking at the period immediately behind the front in different ways. The European still tries to hold on to a second wave of moisture going into Wednesday. Other models are not. I think that if this front has as strong of change in air mass as what we're expecting, from being way above normal to just barely getting to normal, I don't think that's the kind of a long tail that we would need to get precipitation to linger. So I'm actually going with a drier intermediate period there. So from late Tuesday through Wednesday, Thursday. Our next frontal boundary works its way in for the 11th into the 12th. Right now it looks like it could be a decent front, but not all-encompassing. It looks like it probably has the best action as we go through that period more to the southern part of the Corn Belt and eastern part of the Corn Belt. I think that as we go through the 11th and 12th, we're going to see the upper Midwest miss out, Minnesota, Wisconsin, even Iowa, but we are going to be seeing nice moisture linger across southern Illinois, the Boot Heel of Missouri, southern Indiana, maybe even all of Indiana, and into Ohio. That's just the way things look. However, even though the upper Midwest and areas off to the north and west missed that first leg, I do see another system trying to come together, a nice low-pressure circulation lifting into Ontario as you go into that extended period. So we could see some moisture there try and help offset. Totals there look like they're going to be closer to 1/4, maybe 1/3 of an inch, but it still is moisture nonetheless. Getting an active forecast picture going started then as we go from the 13th on through the 14th, 15th. Part of the reason for this, models are showing a change back to a big ridge in the west, big trough in the east scenario. Jet stream, therefore, would be very active starting in the plains, and we're going to see waves of that move out. So 13th, 14th, looking for good thunderstorms and showers to try and break out through the Great Plains. And then as we go on toward the 17th, 18th, 19th, so on through the extended forecast period, I think that moisture works its way eastward. At this point, it does look like the super dry period that we've seen developing over the region the past 3, 4, 5 weeks, that will come to an end. I'm not going to swing the pendulum all the way back the other way to being soggy wet, but I do think we see more timely rains or more frequent rains across the Corn Belt and honestly back into the plains as well. That's the way your forecast is stacking up. If you've got any questions on the weather, give us a call at Allendale. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.